What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Common Sense Living, the show where we discuss financial and economic trends, business topics, gold and silver, and many more things. So, today I want to discuss the economy and just how bad things are going to get. Now, in my opinion, the economic system, it's crumbling. We've seen this the last few weeks, and it's really just a matter of time until things fall apart, unless something miraculous comes along and it can boost our productivity, our innovation in this country. So let's get into the facts. So, first fact, our banking system, it's more susceptible to bank runs than ever before. And this is definitely really scary. And I believe in this regard, things are even worse than the Great Recession. Now, you can make an argument it's worse than it could be worse than the Great Depression, and I certainly think with things like digital payments and social media, that could really accelerate the process. That could help speed up the bank runs as well. So I think it's going to be really tough for the government to come in and bail out the banking system. They'll do everything possible to ensure that the banks are going to the public believes that no bailouts are happening, and we've seen this already with what happened with Silicon Valley Bank. But they came in and said that there wasn't a bailout, but we know indirectly we're going to be paying the price for that. So another thing that could happen is they could try and get the press focused on something else if they see a scenario develop where there could be more bank failures, and that's something that definitely could happen. And a lot of people do think this kind of happened last week. So once the panic begins, it's really going to spread like wildfire. In my opinion, it's going to spread a lot quicker. We saw this with Silicon Valley Bank some, but I think next time it's going to be even worse. And another fact here is that debt is just out of control, and there's really no effort being made to control it. Now, in terms of public debt, we've seen some bickering over the debt ceiling, but ultimately it's going to get raised. There'll be no significant changes to government spending, and private private debt is bad just as well, if not, maybe even worse. And it's getting worse and worse. Consumer credit card debt, it's at an all-time high. Student lending is a disaster. It's basically at the point where they just have to start forgiving loans, even though a lot of these people haven't made payments in the last few years. Um, and I personally think forgiving any amount on these loans is just absurd. Now I could go on and on about this, but back to the debt problem. So, buy now, pay later. Uh, Typically, we see that for more non-essential things, but we're seeing it more and more with essential things. It's just been skyrocketing. And I guess I can't really be upset about people, needing food, needing medicine, needing other essential things. Now, commercial real estate, that's an area it's getting a little attention, but really not enough. And this sector, it's really going to continue to be hurt because of the remote worker and the hybrid worker. Now, I keep reading different reports about where this is headed, but in my opinion, I don't see this turning around anytime soon. I see more and more people working hybrid, companies adapting, allowing people to work remote and hybrid. So I don't think they're going to have the power to push people back. Now, a lot of people will never go back. And there's a lot of companies out there that just offer remote work. Um, Now, I personally, in terms of the data that the Fed's using, I question why the Fed doesn't use more real time data, but it really goes to show you how much more efficient the private sector is over our government. Now, one argument I hear about is, things aren't so bad because we've got record low unemployment rate. And I've done a whole video on this, but basically, this stat, it's archaic. It doesn't know how to account for the gig economy. People working in part-time jobs are counted as employed. It doesn't factor in underemployed. And the Fed knows a lot of these things, but they're not innovating. They're not coming up with new statistical measures. They like to stay with what they're comfortable with. So there's been no real efforts to innovate. So how bad will it get? So in my opinion, we're going to have to pay the piper at some point. Now, I'm not sure how long the Fed and the federal government can kick the can down the road, but I think no politician wants to be in office when everything breaks. And that's the real issue here, is that no one's going to step up and try and do anything. Now, there could be something that serves as a catalyst that really speeds this up, like a bank, like more bank runs, or a sector like commercial real estate, um, just completely blowing up, or maybe even the bricks really speeding up the process there. But we got to face our problem, sooner than later. But that's all I got for today. Let me know your thoughts. I appreciate everyone watching. Please comment, like, subscribe. Thanks.